Alright guys, I want to give you this quick tip based on an awesome design that I just found. This is The Waking That Kills, a book by Stephen Gregory. What really drew me to this design was his use of a perspective grid for his typography. So often as graphic designers, we think of our grid layout as being a very flat plane that follows the lines and edges along your page. But when you start to add perspective to it, it really makes your design look a lot more dynamic and inviting. You can't do this all the time, but when you have the ability to, it's really fun to work with. I did some digging around and I found out that the artist for this, his name is Nico Delors. He's a French artist and he's got a great Behance website. You can see his style. He loves to use scratchboard. He uses pen and inks. And if you know me, you know that I love using scratchboard as well. You can see the rest of his work on his Behance website, and I happened to find the cover for The Waking That Kills artwork. He tells a little bit about it and shows the original artwork that he created. Down below, he mentions that Ben Smith is the graphic designer who did the overall layout of it. In seeing this, I can also tell you that he added some birds that are overlaid to this. This also helps draw your eye from the building that's below into the title that's above. What I want to do is to recreate this style of text and to show you how he did it as well. So what I've done, I've downloaded this picture and we're going to open it into Photoshop. Photoshop will give us the best tools to be able to create this particular style and layout of design. I've got it loaded. I'm going to choose my type tool. And I don't have the exact font that he used. If I was to look at these fonts, you can tell it's a good modern slab kind of serif. The G has a little ear on it. But I'm just going to pick some fonts that are pretty close to it so we get the same look and feel of it. I am going to type out each of the words in their own layer. This will give me the most control about where I can place the words on my page. So we'll type it one word at a time, T-H-E. Make this one a little bit taller. The font that I am using to type these out, in this case I'm using Arial Narrow. We'll do this one, The Waking That. Now let's type out Waking and Kills. Waking did have upper and lowercase. And for this one, we're going to use a nice, bold, modern serif. I'm going to use Impact for that one. I know it's not the original type. I can spend hours trying to locate and get it exactly, but for what we're doing, this will be close enough. Now when I do use these, I can move my words around. Now I always tell my students to look at your type and try to find all the little nooks and crannies that you can place type into. Makes your designs nice and concentric and tight. If I did want to bring up this W, I can highlight the W. Got my characters panel open, and maybe we'll increase the height of it there. We'll do the same for the K. Bring that up till it's nice and even from there. I know a lot of type aficionados that would say, oh no, don't do that. But no, that's okay. This is my design. The Waking That, all upper and lowercase, K-I-L-L-S. That looks good. I will bring this back down to 100% from there. And that'll nestle nicely inside of there. I did play around with this earlier and found that several other type styles gave it a good little look. Let's look back at our original. Oh, I do need to add the author down at the bottom, Stephen Gregory. We'll scale him down and let him fit right underneath and align with the last word that's there. Awesome. Now, by itself, this is actually not a bad little layout. With the white lettering and the black background, it fits really well with a good composition, but adding that 3D perspective is really what sets it off. If you look at your layers palette, you can see now I've got a variety of layers that I can work with, and what I want to be able to do is to group all of these together into one smart object. That smart object will give me the ability to distort all of this as one layer in itself. So with the layers selected, we can go up to Layer, down to Smart Object, and choose Convert to Smart Object. Now when you look in your layers palette, you can see I've got just the one layer of type. Remember, if I need to edit the text in any way, change the colors, change what it is, I need to open up my Smart Objects, make the change, and then resave it before moving on. Everything looks good for here, so we'll keep moving. To do the distortion, it's very, very simple. We'll go to Edit, down to Transform, and the kind of distortion that we're going to use is the regular distort. There is a perspective distortion, but to be honest, that's a little bit difficult to use and get the results that we're wanting. The regular distortion transformation will allow me to click on the individual corners, and you can see very quickly, very easily, I can put it into that 3-point perspective that the original book has. I am looking at my building lines. You can see that they're going off in this angle, so I want my angle to closely match that angle of those buildings. If I hit return or enter, it'll lock it in. I can move things around. And the best part about working in a smart object is if I go back to my transformation and hit distort, it remembers the distortion that I originally worked with. So maybe I'd want to tweak up the way this looks. Hit return, lock that in as well. So you can have a lot of fun with this. I want to see this being used in your design. Start thinking about ways you can lay out your text that's different, but also ties in with the imagery that you're working with as well. All right, like my video if you found it informative. Leave me a comment if you have any questions. Have a great day.